right, welcome back to the Attack the Rack YouTube channel. This is the Attack the Rack podcast. As always, you got myself here, you got Big Mo, and you got Trent. Hey, if you have not yet subscribed to our Attack the Rack YouTube channel, please take 1/2 second right now, click subscribe. It's free for you. Does a ton for us in regards to growing our channel. Also, like the video, leave us a comment, share it with a friend. All right, guys. First things first, Indiana Fever. They've had two preseason games. Caitlin Clark sat out the first one, played in the second one. That one was at her alma mater, uh, Iowa University or University of Iowa Arena, where they took on the Brazil national team. Guys, did you guys tune into this at all?
No, sir.
Trent, that doesn't surprise me too much. Um, Big Mo,
I
you're
did see I saw the 50-footer though, or whatever that thing was.
yeah, that was a deep three. It was like a hair behind where she made a three-pointer that broke the NCAA all-time scoring record.
That's a bomb.
36 footer.
Yeah, holy crap.
I think she had 16 points in the game, 3 for 4, maybe from three,
Okay.
something like
Not
that.
too
I did not tune into the
What?
Brazil. I was out golfing. I was out golfing.
What?
What?
But I watched the real game the day before. They didn't the Brazil team was awful. Come on.
Yeah, I think they almost beat they beat it by almost 70.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that wasn't even not that was like a scrimmage, not even a preseason game.
But the game before, though, the game you watched, no Caitlin Clark.
No Caitlin Clark, which yeah, still was pretty good. I mean, to me it's interesting basketball. It's kind of like I don't know. This says again, it can be obviously they don't it's different, but I'm watching the playoffs right now of the NBA, and all it is right now is like you grab everybody just grabs and hold.
Yeah.
Like it's so weird. Like they can't find this medium of just good basketball. And they make some outstanding plays. Like take that off the docket, but it is like if you watch off the ball, people are just holding each other and grabbing and like it is like and I want it to be physical. I like a physical game. I want it to be in the 80s and 90s
Oh,
kind of like basketball where it's we lost Trent.
Gus Trent, he'll be
Um,
back, I'm sure.
um, but it's yeah, I don't know why I was going with that whole conversation. Besides,
Well, I think you're trying to where you were comparing WNBA play from NBA play.
yeah, it's just hard because I think obviously the athleticism is different in the women's game. Um, but I still think they try to do some things that are tact tactful
Yeah.
with what they're doing. So the X's and O's part. And then the guys' game, they do the X's and O's part, high level ability, athletic ability. But if you watch Steph Curry off the ball, he is just getting mugged
Yeah.
most of the game. And then he gets 75% of the things he runs off are illegal screens.
Yeah. There's
So
a
it's like
ton of
it's like total advantage offense, total advantage defense. There's no in between. It is. I don't know. For me, it's hard to watch the
yeah.
NBA.
No, Trent, welcome back.
Yeah, sorry, it's overheating in here.
Yeah.
Heating up.
Yeah, Trent, I'm guessing you may be popping in and out. No big deal. We'll be here, Trent. We'll be here.
You just keep coming back.
I'll
Yeah, just
I'll
keep
do my best to come back.
Anyway, Trent, what are your thoughts on that? Big Mo was just talking about kind of the off the ball physicality in the NBA. Looks like you froze again, Trent. Um, well, anyway, Big Mo, Indiana Fever, back to that.
Yeah,
They,
I they got. I mean, I'm gonna tell you the top four teams in the WNBA have like all-star rosters.
well, yeah, I mean the Fever, I guess they got 8 new players from last year's team.
Yeah,
Obviously highlighted by DeWanna Bonner, which, I don't think, I mean, I couldn't stand her last year. She was one of the jealous, bullies to Caitlin Clark last year. But now that she's on the Fever, now all of a sudden it's like, well, now you like her. And it seems like they showed many clips of Caitlin and Bonner on the bench, at least on against Brazil, and they seem to be like two peas in a pod.
Yeah.
So that's good because obviously, like I said, Bonner was one of the ones that was kind of not so friendly with Clark last year. And then another name they picked up that I recognize, I don't remember from last year again, new to the WNBA, Natasha Howard. I definitely recognize that name from last year.
Wow. Well, she was, I think, it might have been an all-star last year.
Yeah,
Averaged
yeah,
17 a game.
yeah. That's why
From
I recognize it.
that, maybe Dallas, I forget exact, Seattle, maybe.
Okay.
Um, no, I truthfully, without Caitlin playing, they were interesting to watch. They got a little more toughness. They obviously have a deeper bench.
Yes.
They can go 7 or 8 deep and really not lose a whole lot. But I think that can be said for the top 4 teams in the WNBA. So, I mean, they added Cunningham from
Yeah.
the Phoenix, who's a competitor. Bring back Lexi Hall, Boston, Mitchell. Um, so yeah, no.
Then they picked up a
Again,
point guard, Sydney Colson.
Sydney Colson, yep, point guard.
Oh,
Yeah, she's definitely a better backup than what they had last year.
yeah.
Um,
So Howard and Bonner will enter in the starting lineup, and then Cunningham will probably be first off the bench. And then you still got Hull coming off the bench.
is that what they had on? Is that what they had on against
Yeah, I
the
think
Brazil team?
Clark, Bonner, Howard, Boston. Can't remember who the fifth starter was. I think Cunningham's coming off the bench, but don't quote me on that.
It wouldn't be surprised if she started by the end of the year. And I think Bonner's,
Hmm.
again.
The guard.
Oh,
uh, Mitchell.
oh, she's coming off the bench.
No, she's starting.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
That's
No,
the
no,
fifth
no.
starter I couldn't think
I
of. So
mean, Mitchell, Boston, Howard, Clark, and then Bonner probably. But I do think they might be. Yeah, Bonner. I think Bonner's been in the league for 16 years or something like that.
yeah, she's old.
So she probably doesn't need to play more than 25 minutes a game. So she may start, not play a lot. My guess, I would save her for the end of games mostly. But hey,
Yeah.
I'm not the head coach, so I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, so
Um,
they
no,
definitely
they'll be fun to watch, and I think the top 4 teams will be fun to watch. And again, the playoffs. I know we're going to get into it, and this will take us into it. And the playoffs have been amazing for the NBA.
I mean the second round is off to a great start.
Yeah, I mean, you got Indiana up 2-0 against Cleveland. You got the Celtics down 0-1. Um, you know, the Gold State Warriors win without Curry.
Yeah.
Um, that Denver game must be tonight.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
They're trying
So
to go up 2-0.
what
They had a thrilling 2-point victory in game one, trying to go up 2-0 tonight.
so I think it's been, and so don't get me wrong, but again, it's for a guy who's played, I mean, again, just played low level college basketball. Um,
But you played that low level at a high level, Big Mo.
yeah, yeah, well, thank you. But someone who enjoys the game and it's so to watch when you're not watching the ball all the time. It's just I'm amazed that there probably aren't more fights
Yeah.
or things like that because of just how much contact and grabbing and holding and bumping, illegal screens. I mean, I can't imagine people going back and watching these games, how many fouls you could call, how many fouls aren't called. I mean, there was a play last night in the Golden State game where I swear a Timberwolf guy was about to grab a rebound and just got shoved out of the way. Golden State grabbed the ball, laid it in. Nope, nobody said a word about it. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do?
Well, it is interesting because one of the knocks on, or comparing this era of basketball to like 80s, 90s is that it is less physical. You're claiming, there is a lot of physicality, but it's a different.
Yeah, well, it's totally different. I think that's maybe the interesting part of it is again, I like the physicality of like maybe things not being easy, but to me, it's the physicality right now is like is totally off the ball.
Yeah.
So then it almost, if you think about it properly, it almost makes the game easier because there's so much grabbing and holding off the ball that there is no help defense. So now people, I mean, I don't know how many times last night I watched the game where guys are driving right down the middle of the lane. There's nobody
Right.
there.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
Um,
That's a huge difference because in the 80s and 90s, you wouldn't be able to just get to the lane and
no, no. So it's the total different physicality, but I do think it is very physical right now,
yeah.
which it always picks up in the playoffs, which makes it a little more interesting.
And you brought up Indiana. They go up 2-0 over Cleveland. Halliburton hit a three with 1.1 seconds last night to give them a 1-point win. They're up 2-0 on the number one seed, Cavs. Cavs have some injuries. What do you think? Cavs cooked, or can they come back at this juncture?
Who do they get the one guy back next tomorrow?
I'm not sure who they get.
Who's been out? Who's
But,
been
but
out?
but they got, I mean, they're
I don't
down
think they're I
2-0.
don't think they're cooked because I don't think Indiana's like unbeatable.
Okay.
You know, I think obviously they have played extremely well in the first two games. I think Indiana's missing one of their starters, who's a key piece. I think he might come back on Thursday or Friday, whenever they play next.
Right.
And I cannot think of his name. It's not Gray, is it? Anyway, I think trying to find it real fast. But I don't think Cleveland plays hard enough. Mitchell had an outstanding game. What do you have, 48?
Yeah. They
So
got the
they
best,
could
they
they could
got the
easily.
best player.
What's that?
They got the best player.
Yeah. Yep. And so yeah, I don't think they're cooked. I think it's obviously they could win two. They could win both games at Indiana.
No, for sure. And then also, Nuggets or OKC, number one seed in the West, it's only been one game down 1-0, but I think there's reason to be concerned, even though it's only one game.
You talking as you said Celtics?
No, no, no.
Oh,
OKC. OKC.
oh. Who are they playing? Denver?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Denver
Yeah.
looking pretty good.
Again, you got guys who have won a championship and Joker and um
Murray.
who?
Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray, thank you. And a couple other guys were on
Yeah.
that team as well. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't, that's gonna be a bar fight, no doubt about it. I was gonna, I know you like talking. I think you tweeted something about it, but did you see what Minnesota has shot the past two games from three?
No.
Oh, 12 of 76.
Hold on. Trent's texting us.
Um,
Okay, what are they shooting?
um, 12 of 76, I think I saw
Okay. That's
from three.
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
So the thing is, again, and the Celtics will be the same way. If they start making, the Celtics coach had someone answered him a question after the game and said, well, how hot or how bad they shot in the first half, and then, well, hey, the Knicks really shot well in the second half, and he was like, well, yeah, the key is you just make open shots. Pretty
Yeah.
simple, right? So the Timberwolves could get hot, and then I bet they end up, if they do get hot, they're going to win that series. And
I hope they do. I really hope they do. I do not want to see the Warriors.
well, if Curry's out, then it's not, it definitely becomes different. I don't, did you see the quote by their coach after the game? Kind of
Oh,
called into question Anthony Edwards' effort.
wasn't he talking about when before he got drafted? Um, I think he did a workout with the Warriors maybe, and Steve Kerr told him, we wouldn't draft him.
Oh, well, that's what the Warriors told Ant.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll
Is that
say
what you're
after
talking
the
about?
game, after the game last night, the Timberwolf head coach kind of called out Ant's
Oh, okay.
his play or his effort,
Okay.
which is you would hope your best player you should be able to call them out.
Right.
He obviously did not play very well offensively, but did defend well, supposedly.
Yep.
Um, but interesting that again, he's got to play well for that team to be good, I think. So,
And you mentioned the Celtics. They're down 1-0 to the Knicks. Celtics are they're the 2 seed, right, in the East.
yep.
They're the 2 seed playing the 3 seed Knicks. 14 out of 59 from three in game one. Missed 45 threes. And would they end up losing what? I don't have the score, but it
Well, it
was
went to OT, didn't it?
um
Or no? I'm trying to think in my head.
yeah,
No, but it was close.
it was a very close game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I want to look up the score real quick. 45 missed 3-pointers in the game. 45,
Yeah,
40
it was 108 to 105 in OT.
in OT.
Yeah,
So, I mean, they miss 44 threes. You're looking at a tie or a win, you know?
yeah, yeah. Well, I saw an interesting stat somewhere. Where did I see? Maybe on ESPN. Um, like how many threes did they shoot?
59.
Yeah, and like 40, maybe 35 of them were in the first half of the shot clock.
Really?
So kind of settling a little bit and
Yeah.
um, maybe not really attacking.
That's an interesting take on it.
Yeah, yeah. Almost like yeah. So that was I forget where I saw that at, but they talked also about they when you take quick shots like that, that also probably hinders Boston because on a bunch of those possessions throughout that game, they had Brunson or Cat on Tatum.
Okay, okay.
And that should be an advantage Celtics, but it ended up not being that way because of some of those quick threes.
Sure. That makes sense.
So
So game two tonight, back in Boston. Who you got?
Celtics win by 20.
I'm kind of on board with that. I like that take. Yep.
Yep.
I couldn't disagree with that.
Yep.
That's where
Call
my
call
mind
up call up your bookie, put it down.
is.
Do not take gambling advice. This is just for fun.
All right, you got anything else NBA playoff wise, Big Mo?
Um,
Any other thoughts?
I don't think so.
Well, speaking of NBA, I know it just came out yesterday on
Oh,
Netflix. Another episode or in their series of Untold, they call it, on Netflix called Shooting Guards.
yeah. I'm not watching them because I can't stand
Gilbert Arenas.
Gilbert Arenas.
He's unbearable, and he's unbearable in the documentary.
But is he?
And he's the way that he behaved with his teammates is unbearable as well. I mean, this whole thing was because he's just basically a clown, complete clown.
Well, okay.
And a bully.
I'm not gonna say that, but I'm not gonna watch it because I actually do enjoy watching their podcast. Um, but it is because him and McCants have such wild takes.
Yeah,
It becomes so interesting.
sure.
Um, like I don't know. So anyway, yeah. So, but did you watch? So you watched the episode there,
Yeah, yeah.
and you
So,
would not recommend it, or
no, it was good. I mean, it was good. Didn't really know all what was behind the whole thing. I think the media portrayed it as, it was over a gambling debt, which it wasn't. It was, I mean, it started with them. Gilbert Arenas wasn't even involved initially. Um, Javaris Crittenton, the other guy involved in the situation, was playing cards with two other teammates. Um, I think one of them was Earl Boykins, actually.
oh,
And the other two guys, or one of the guys needed to borrow a couple $100 from the other guy to play. And then that guy that borrowed the money won. And then the other guys were like, dude, you just won a bunch of money. Can why don't you give me my $200 back or whatever? And he was like, well, why do I got to give it back to you now? I'll give it back to you when we land. And then Javaris Curtin stepped in and he's like, dude, pay the guy. And then they started arguing. And then Gilbert Arenas gets involved and he starts playing with them. And then he likes to stir the pot and he keeps on egging on Critton and then they get into this big fight. And then they start talking about, I'm going to shoot you. And again, Arenas is just completely stirring the pot, egging him on. And it was like, oh, you want to shoot me? I'll bring you guns. I'll provide the guns. You can pick out what gun you want to shoot me with. So Gilbert Arenas also was an avid gun collector as a hobby.
Yeah.
And he went to the University of Arizona. Every time he would go back to Arizona, so like whenever they play the Suns, he'd go back to his favorite gun shop and he'd buy some guns, and then he would transport them back on the airplane from Arizona to Washington, D.C. That's a key component of this.
Yeah.
So anyway, they get back to Washington, D.C., and they had an off day, and then the next day at practice, Gilbert Arenas gets there super early. He's got two guns with him, and he's got him sitting there on a chair, ready for Crittenden to walk in, and then he can say, "Pick your gun." Well, Crittenden was taking this all very, very seriously and actually brought his own gun. And so he walks in, and Gilbert Arenas is like, "All right, I got a couple guns here for you. Pick one out." And again, he's just, obviously
Semi joking.
joking around. And so Crittenden pulls out his own guns, like, "I don't need one of your guns." And then apparently everything, it was like, whoa, 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 okay. This is too much. And from there, everything just completely calmed down. Well, then, it gets leaked and people start talking. The NBA finds out about it. Then the law enforcement finds out about it. They both get convicted of weapons charges. They both get suspended 50 games.
Yeah.
Now, as I mentioned, Arenas buying the guns in Arizona and transporting them via a plane to Washington, D.C., his opinion is that that's why he got the 50 games, because the NBA didn't didn't appreciate him using an NBA owned airplane to transport weapons.
Oh, yeah. Would be definitely
So
be.
he believes that that's why he got 50 games, and then he believes because he got 50, they also gave Crittenden 50.
Yeah.
And then Crittenden's life just went in a tailspin after that. He ended up murdering a lady.
Oh, really?
Well, he tried to get he ended up going. I forget who signed him after that. He ended up getting released. He couldn't get back on the team. Went to China, didn't like that. Came back to America. Went back to his hometown in Atlanta, his old neighborhood. Got robbed a couple times, and then went looking for one of the guys that robbed him. Went to shoot him, missed him, but hit an innocent bystander, killed her. Now, he only got sentenced 23 years for that, and they let him out after 10.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. 10 years is all he got for murdering a woman. And you
Well,
could argue it all stemmed from that one event.
one event. Jeez.
Yeah. Because if he didn't get that 50-game suspension, he would have played that season. And
Probably wouldn't have got in trouble.
yeah, he was a role player. He probably,
Usually bad decisions jump on top of each other, Kurt. That's a good, tough life lesson to learn.
yeah. So anyway, I just told you the whole documentary. So now if you're watching this, you don't need to watch the documentary.
And I won't be watching it, so don't worry.
All right. Trent texted us. He's just having too much technical difficulties. But he did send me in his top three.
Okay.
It's going to be tough because he only gave, oh no, he gave a bunch. Okay. So we'll go top three. We don't have Trent to do the wheel. The top three today is top three mascots. They don't have to be, oh no, he did only send in three, didn't he, Big Mo?
You did. So we'll give him the first pick.
Okay.
And we won't steal any of his other picks.
Okay, perfect. All right. So top three mascots, they don't have to be sports mascots. They can be company mascots as well. We'll let Trent go first then.
Yeah, yep.
All right. Well, you want to go second or third? You can pick.
Your choice, Kurt. You're the host.
I'll go second. You can go.
Good.
All right. So Trent's first pick I like it. He's got the Pillsbury Doughboy.
That's a good one.
That is a classic one. That was definitely on my list. All right. So for my first one, I'm gonna go, I mean, this takes me back to my childhood. I don't know how relevant actually some of these are, including this one, the San Diego chicken.
Oh, that is a
Um,
classic one.
Started in San Diego, but I feel like the chicken was all over, not just San Diego.
Well, I think did he start in San Diego, then he just made his way, became so popular, he just showed up everywhere.
I think so. Because he was everywhere in like the 80s and 90s. He was everywhere.
Yeah,
Maybe he still is. I don't know. But
interesting. All right. Good pick. Good pick.
I got the San Diego chicken. So
Yeah.
Pillsbury Doughboy, San Diego chicken off the board.
Okay. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna stick with mascots mainly because I think there's so many. I think even I know Trent kind of went the other direction with mascot of overall, but I think we could probably. I'm gonna hone in on the sports section of this whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yep.
I'm gonna get an all-time classic, the Philly Fanatic.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
I
come
think
on.
Philly Fanatics right up there with the San Diego chicken.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And then I'm gonna go a little old school. Um, and I don't know if he's still around because obviously it's just not. I don't watch as much NBA, but um, the Phoenix Gorilla.
See, that's another one. I had him on my list. I remember him from back in the day.
Oh, yeah, the Dunks.
Yes, exactly. Good one. But again, I don't know.
Yeah,
Is he still around? I don't know.
I
Maybe.
don't know. I don't know. Reach out to us if you are, buddy.
Yeah, we'd love to have you on the pod.
Yeah.
All right, back to me. I got to go with the hometown Detroit Tigers. Pause.
Oh,
Um, yeah, got to go pause.
all right, all right.
So then, what do we got? We got back to Trent for which would be his last pick in round two, and then first pick in round three.
Yep,
Okay, he's got two good ones here.
he does.
They were not on my list, and they should have been. He's got the Kool-Aid Man, so that'll be his second round pick.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Kick off the third round, Tony the Tiger.
Nice.
Yes.
Two classics there.
Yeah, so he did. You're right. He went all non-sports,
You
didn't he?
went all non-sports, which is fine. We didn't specify.
All right, so then back to me for round three. My round three, I gotta go. I'm gonna go Rocky from the Denver Nuggets.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I've seen several clips of him where
He's done some really cool things, hasn't he?
yeah, he gets up on that ladder like 50 feet in the air and from like half court and makes shots.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable.
I think there's one clip going around. What is he like? He brings out like this huge teddy bear.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe you could find that and post that. But no, that's a good one. Nice, good classic one there. I was trying to find. My last pick, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Do I stay sports? Do I stay sports?
It's up to you, Big Mo.
Hmm. Do I stay sports? Oh, mascots. Hmm. Does and this probably wasn't around much when I was watching, and not that I watched a bunch of baseball, but how about Mr. Freeze with the running he does the race at like the Brewers or the is that a mascot or is that more of like a character?
I don't know. Well, that would work.
Um
I'm not sure who that
you
is.
ever, you ever seen the races that like happen around the stadium?
Oh yeah, I mean, like the Nationals
Oh,
have
sometimes it's the Brock guys.
yeah, or the Nationals have the presidents.
Yeah.
I don't know who Mr.
Well, let me see if I can figure out where he is because they always seem to show highlights of him.
Okay.
Um,
Is he race a fan?
yes.
Yeah, okay, I know what you're
They
talking
give him
about.
like a huge head start.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the Braves. Braves games?
Okay. No, that's a good one. I would count that. I just
Okay.
wasn't
All right.
sure.
All right.
But
It's
you said it's with
interesting.
the Atlanta Braves.
With the Atlanta Braves, I believe.
Okay.
Um, But by the way, that not to get us off track here. Have you seen any of this content from Greg Maddux
No.
on just his pitching on the? So I don't know if it's just the algorithms,
Yeah,
but for
okay.
some reason they've been popping up on my TikTok and Instagram. So, but he just goes into like they take obviously they've got content where he's got at bats and like so the last one I saw was him and Bonds, two different places, but watching their at bat against each other
Oh, nice.
and talking like through like what each of them was thinking.
That is awesome.
Oh, it's actually very interesting.
Um,
Um, so not to get back,
yeah,
but
no,
yeah,
yeah, that it would be really interesting. Another old school player, Will Clark, he has some really great content too.
oh yeah, I just think I saw some of the stuff. Is he like a hitting coach now or something like that?
Yeah, yeah. So I
Um,
saw one where he was just going off on what other hitting coaches are teaching nowadays or not
yeah.
teaching or missing.
What do I know? I played 20 years baseball.
Oh, he had one of the sweetest swings too of all time.
Silky smooth, right?
Oh, and then he's got some great Ricky Henderson stories too. Huh. Any other mascots that you had?
Well, here's what I'm gonna say. Let's not go outside sports because I think we can come back to the non-sports ones
Yeah,
one time.
there's an infinite non-sports one.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Obviously, if Trent was here, I'm surprised he didn't go with Brutus,
yeah, I know.
the Ohio State guy.
Yeah,
Um, that was a little interesting. I thought he would have pulled that one out.
we should ask him about that on the next episode. Why he didn't? What was he thinking there?
Yeah, if you want to go more hometown, you could go Rory the Lion for the Detroit.
Yeah. What's the
Um,
Bulls mascot? Benny the Bull?
Benny the Bull.
Yeah.
You got the tree for Stanford. That
Yeah.
was I almost went that route.
Uh, now I'm trying to think. Back in high school, you probably were already graduated.
Well, I wasn't if we were talking the gorilla.
No, I wasn't going to talk about the gorilla,
Oh,
but that was classic.
but
Russ Lee.
shout out to Russ Lee and the gorilla.
Yes. No, I think it was my junior year, so you'd have been already been graduated. They
Wouldn't you?
what's that?
Wouldn't you?
The wooden shoe. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I don't think it was around when I was there, but I was around.
Yeah.
I coached around there, so
Woody the wooden shoe.
Woody the wooden shoe.
Yeah, classic.
Do we know who was inside Woody?
Well, I know RJ Lakaitis is the
Oh,
one that got it all. I think him and Chad Lucky got it all put together. I don't remember if
okay, nice,
RJ might have been in it. I'm not sure.
interesting. Well, how about Kurt? We're in Michigan.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most famous mascots, Sparty.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know, but give him a shout out.
Yeah. Um, I don't think I had
Ooh,
any
how
other
about
sports ones.
Kurt? The Otto the Orange,
Who's that?
Syracuse Orange,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay.
that
Okay.
orange circle guy.
Yep. Hey, speaking of circle, how about Mr. Met with the big baseball head?
Mr. Met's a good one too, Kurt.
Yeah.
He was on another one of my lists there.
Yep. And then the Brewers have one that I think slides down the slide every time they hit a home run,
Oh yeah. Well, see if I can figure that out.
which must mean he must, every time they're up to bat, he must have to just sit there.
Yeah. Is that Bernie? Bernie the Brewer?
Could be. I
He
don't even
must
know.
walk around there when they're not at bat though, probably, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Maybe they just got like a fake person in a bunch of those uniforms and they just slide a bunch of them down during
That
the
could be.
and they just got a mechanical wave going.
Yeah, that could be.
If anybody got any insight into how the Brewers do that, let us know.
Yeah, that'd be great. Um, all right, Big Mo. What do you think makes a good mascot?
Ooh, that's good questions.
I mean, I think one is longevity, consistency.
You're talking just what makes like a legendary
Yeah,
mascot.
I mean, a team's they gotta pick a mascot and they gotta stick with it.
Well, I think, and, it's just like anything else, Kurt. The success, right? It's if you've got a winning team, you're going to prolong the life of that mascot.
True.
If you have a crappy team, they're going to be changing up players, coaches, and mascots.
No, for sure.
Everybody's job is on the line when you're in a sports skirt,
including the mascot.
including the mascot.
All right, Big Mo. Well, feel bad for Trent. He's kind of like our NBA insider, I would say. So a lot of good NBA talk, but um, we'll have him back. Obviously, he'll be back next time, and we can let him unleash on the NBA playoffs for us.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right. Anything else, Big Mo?
That's it. That's all I got.
All right, Big Mo. You enjoying your tulip time so far?
Oh, that's going on right now.
Yeah. Uh,
I'll pretty much stay in my house.
so today is Wednesday, right? Tomorrow night, Thursday night. What do you got going, Big Mo?
I got senior soccer night in Lansing with my daughter.
Okay, so you can't go downtown Thursday night.
I cannot.
What about Friday night?
I'm out of town.
You're gonna miss.
I know. If I'm gonna go downtown, it's gonna have to be tonight.
Um,
They
then
got some Dutch dancing you want to see down there?
I just want to maybe get a lemonade from one of the
Ooh.
stands. It's really good lemonade.
Well, I'm still at work, Kurt, but if I get home in the next 2 hours, we could run down there.
All right, we'll see. We'll see. All right, Big Mo. Well, you're working at an event tonight?
I'm not. I'm heading home right after this.
Okay.
I mean, so
All
we
right.
can go soon. We can go sooner if you want. So
All right. Well, yeah, we'll see.
it's up
I,
to you.
I don't know if I got it in me today.
Okay. If it doesn't happen today, it ain't happening.
No, I know. Well, there's always next year.
There is. Well, if we're still around.
Yeah, true.
That's not a guarantee either, Kurt.
True. All right, Big Mo. We'll see you next time.